So hello and welcome to a film Mixologist, the place on the internet thingy for the DIY carb tuner. Case in point, this unit that I've got here. What I've got here is essentially what I believe to be really the optimal setup for a kind of DIY kind of tuner that wants to get the carb running, perfect for their application. And it is this carb, not this one in particular, but it's just that this carb has two key features that make this a real kind of winner with tunability, and it's pretty much all of the things that you need to do as a kind of DIY sort of person. So let me show you a bit closer what I'm talking about. So the key bits here are this kind of quick change unit that I've done a video about, but I'm going to show you kind of what I'm on about, and this, which is a rear metering block. So, and obviously the unit, this is it's a list 1850, so it's a very versatile kind of universal performance carb. But what, let's say, if you look at what these two units give you, they give you the following. So this one, it controls the aperture of the secondaries, and actually it's very easy to change it because you just need to lift this and you can change the spring, and that gives you kind of some pretty good tunability. And then is this, which is a rear metering block, and this allows you to kind of change the jets in the secondary. So let's say, and if you combine these two things, really you have got an absolutely completely tunable list 1850, which is again very a carb of very wide use. And therefore, I think this is, let's say, from a DIY point of view, a really good option, a really nice carb to have. So it's good that we're gonna we obviously this carb is here because we needed to give it, the once over and make sure it's okay. So what we need to do now is the obvious, which is commence the process of disassembly, cleanup. Which I believe should be relatively okay. This carb is relatively in very good condition, so probably it would need just a thorough clean, but nothing major, I hope. But we'll see that as we kind of tear the unit apart. Okay, so it's always important when you're working with this sort of unit. It's important to try and do like an initial diagnosis as soon as you disassemble it, in order to kind of try and understand kind of what was wrong with it, what was parked, if there was something wrong with it. So this carb is a little bit of a mystery, in the sense that I think it's a very low miles carb. It certainly has been used because you got this discoloration here, kind of in the secondary. So it's definitely seen some road action. But however, I think it has been minimal, and I'm going to show you kind of another couple of things that is a warning for people kind of nowadays. It's a very common problem that I see in the shop with carbs. So I don't know if you can see there, but in there is kind of sediment, like rust. And this sediment was present on the two fuel bolts. You can see also a bit there. And crucially, if you look at the accelerator pump and you look underneath, you can see all the kind of rust sediment. So what happened here is, I think somebody kind of let the car kind of sit for a long time. Maybe there was rust on the fuel tank and they tried to run it, and that rust started coming into the carb. Now I don't know if that's what parked it or not, but it's still something that you do need to be careful when you're recommissioning a car, when you are, starting it up, maybe after a few years of the thing not working or whatnot, or you had it parked for, the whole winter and that kind of stuff, it's very important to check, the fuel lines, all of the fuel lines, from the tank, all the lines up the fuel pump, and if it got kind of any sort of fuel filters, it's a good one, because to avoid this sort of thing happening. The other thing which is important is that this has the original Holley gaskets, which are these gaskets that I absolutely hate, which are this kind of brown gaskets. They're horrible to take out. You have to kind of like scrape them out. But so this tells me that this carb was born like this, with this setup from the factory, and this is the first time it's been opened, so at least now I know what to work with. But this is going to be a relatively easy kind of rebuild, except for the gaskets, which are a bit of a nightmare to take out. But anyway, we just have to get on with it. Okay, so I think we are at a juncture where I'm getting ready to, assemble the carbs. But I want to show you something, discuss something that, it's always a problem, or at least for me when working with this whole carbs, which is this brown kind of Holley gaskets that you can see. These are the original carbs. Generally, if you buy an old carb like this one, it comes with this like kind of brown gaskets. Now, what's the problem with, and let me see if I can show you here. So you can see what happens is that over time, this gasket really starts sticking onto the back of the body in this way. As you can see here, I had to like literally grind the body so that I got rid of all the kind of gasket material. And what you need to do is you need to check that the block sits square on the bottom, and that's how you know that it is gonna work. If it doesn't like jiggle or wobble kind of stuff, that's how you know it's good, that the unit is going to work. And that's why it has a bit of a correction here. Now, how I deal with this here, and the technique is that you have to try and remove as much as you can, and then I left it for about 3 days immersed in water in order to take it out. I did the ultrasonic cleaner, because the problem with this gasket is that when it goes kind of hard, you can't see it here, but it's like a multi-layered gasket, so you can peel off layer after layer after layer after layer, and the thing might still not be clean, might still not go away. And this is after I've kind of after I try to peel it off. I tried burning it with a torch, didn't work. Obviously it's been days in the water, and then I ground everything out with a wire brush. But now if it sits well like this, obviously once you add a gasket, the gasket kind of smooths out any imperfections. There we go. So that's how you know it's good. And also I'm gonna be putting this kind of blue gasket, which is reusable according to Holley. I'm not so sure. Funny enough, if you can get one of these that are red, they are actually really good gaskets. So I kind of recommend if you can find reds. They're difficult to find these days, but reds are good. So now what we need to do is commence the work of what this video is about, which is about the tunability of the car. So and it's a classic looking into the manual. So we've got here LIS 1854. Yeah, so these ones, they have 66 jets on the primary, which is classic for a 600. Now if I go down to kind of the in the manual, obviously this carb has been upgraded with a rear metering block. So if I go a 600 CFM carb, it has 76 main jets on the secondary. So what I did is I put 76 jets on the secondary. Why? Because it came with 79 rather than 76. So I mean, I don't know exactly why, but obviously the customer, the previous owner would have done some trial and error until it was done. I mean, it's not that crucial, but certainly I know that with 76 it's going to work fine, and it'll be good enough for most cars. Certainly it's not going to make it run lean at high RPM and burn the pistons, which is what you want. So with that done, now it's time to start building the carb up, and obviously because now all the components are clean, have been tested, and that's another thing of these carbs. So some carbs look okay, cosmetically they look really clean, they look really nice, but sometimes you need to rebuild them anyway, because for example needle and seats, they were completely perished, the O-ring, so that had to be kind of renewed. Then obviously the fuel transfer tube O-rings as well. So all of the kind of rubber things, they tend to go hard and kind of lose their kind of sealing ability. So therefore you have to kind of change all of that stuff. So now let's get on with it, and let's start building the unit up. Okay, so now that I've got the unit assembled, as you can see here, with the choke, with everything, this is like really like ready to bolt on the car. Now here's where we need to discuss kind of different levels of tunability. So I'm going to show you kind of a little bit closer. What do I mean? What are they for? And then next week's episode, I've got a really good episode planned. I'm going to show you kind of an extreme version of Holley tunability next week. But let's start with this now. As I said, this is like the key area for the tunability of this list 1850s, because why? The primaries, I know that with a 66 main jack, 65 power valve, you're going to be golden most of the time. Now here is where you might want to do a little bit of tunability. So in here you're going to vary the jets, so that you need to kind of start working with the car and trying to put it under load and make sure that you kind of run it a few times and look at the plugs. So here, that's where you tune this, and this is for your secondaries. And what you do, you have this kits like this with secondary springs that basically have different levels of resistance, and that's what gives you how quickly or not this opens. And this is what you need basically to make this carb absolutely tunable. And what you do is you have to do a little bit of like trial and error. So put the car, do a baseline, see how you're doing. If you feel that you could do with a bit of kind of quicker opening of the secondaries, you put a softer spring, and therefore the secondaries are going to open sooner because the vacuum is going to overcome that spring tension quicker. So that's how it works. But again, this is something that everybody can do relatively easy, because it's just okay. I can read the plugs. Are they too black? Okay, I can put a couple of numbers down. Or do I need more fuel? I put a couple of jet numbers up. That's okay. And then the secondary, same deal. Is the car kind of not getting enough power, or is it kind of bogging? Okay, I can put a slightly stiffer secondary spring, and that's pretty much kind of all you need. Yeah, so from the point of view of the kind of the normal average person with, you know, average mechanical skills, this should be something that is going to allow you to, you know, get your car, you know, have it like mint in terms of it's set up for your own engine. Because here's the thing, kind of carbs, when they're made, they're made for like a wide range of applicability. But the problem is that you got a particular engine in your particular car that's built to a particular specification. So therefore, if you want to really have kind of proper tunability, what you need is this kind of thing, and you can get it to run perfect in your car. So I'll show you kind of lastly, you know, the condition of the unit as a finished item. Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the episode, this was something that was in exceedingly good condition, but that could be a little bit misleading. Why? Because obviously all the rubber bits, for example, the O-rings here and the O-rings in the needle and seat assembly had completely perished. So even though it looked good, it wouldn't have worked very well in terms of sealing. And also as you can see, the gaskets needed redoing again, and the gasket here as well. But other than that, this is really a very good kind of low mileage carburetor that is really to hit the road again. It might need a little bit of an adaptation here for the choke, because obviously there is the cable here, so you need to, you know, you're gonna have to secure the cable, but it can still be done. So apart from that, this unit is ready to hit the road. So I hope you got something out of it. And as I said previously, next week what I am going to be doing is I'm going to kind of take the tunability to all of it, and I'll show you how and why, using kind of the Weber power plate, and I've been kind of squirreling away some parts. So I'll show you kind of what are the good bits and what are the bad bits of it. But that's something for next episode. So what I'll do is I'll thank you very much for watching. If you've got any comments, put it down in the comments, and if not, I'll see you in the next episode.